Hi, everybody. Okay, this is my favorite part, inviting my guest. Okay, I'm gonna just do this real quick. Fingers crossed. Invite. Let's see if Paul gets that invite. How is everybody this morning? Okay. Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that I get to do another one of these wonderful live streams with you all. And you'll get to meet Paul today, who is awesome and has tons to offer. Hi. Happy October. Well, actually, it's crazy. It's almost November. So, okay, let's see. Let me see if this works. Thank you for being patient. Okay. Okay, I see Paul is here. All right. I think I got it. Oh, it says he's unable to join. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. I may have to exit the live and then come back. So just hang tight.
Hey,
Oh, hi.
how are
Okay,
you?
I'm good. How are you? This is funny because I sometimes it's super smooth and then other times I'm just like entertaining people but not wanting to
Right,
say too much because you're not here. Okay, awesome.
right.
Hi everybody. Well, I'm going to introduce this wonderful person in a second, but I just want to do a quick intro. So thank you for joining me on this other account that I'm on, Almost Normal Productions. We're a female-led production company. It's me, Elizabetta, and Catherine. And our content, outside of the movies that we make, just deal with everyday human struggles. And that's what Paul and I are here to talk about. So, hi, Paul.
Hi.
This is Paul Karmiryan, everybody. He's a friend. We met on Veronica Mars, actually.
Yeah,
Remember? How long
yeah.
ago was that?
Oh my God, I don't know. I literally don't know. I feel like last year didn't happen, so I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
time for me is kind of weird right now.
Yeah, I feel
But I
like,
think it was 2018, right? I don't know, 2000,
yeah, it
right?
was. It
I
was.
think
It would
so.
have been. That's
Yeah,
insane. Yeah, it's been a
yeah,
minute. Paul also
yeah.
just got engaged, everybody. So, big
Ooh.
congratulations.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause like I'm like it's such a beautiful thing. Obviously, I'm like next chapter, yes. But it's funny because I always say I'm like it feels weird to like be adulting. I'm like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm still a kid, and I feel like young. I feel like like just a child. But actually, someone actually told me the other day they're like your soulmate is kind of something that like is um someone who brings out your inner child and makes you feel safe enough to like be a kid. And so I'm happy I have that and I get to be a kid while adulting.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That's really true.
yeah,
That's really
yeah.
true. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I'm really happy to hear that. So big congrats. And
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm excited because we were going to talk about a couple things, and every week I get on this live stream, I notice that all of my actor friends tend to want to talk about the same topics, which I'm happy to do because I think they're fascinating and everybody has a different, take on it.
Right,
But
right.
one of the things that we were kind of talking about earlier is that being a performer, you've been in the spotlight. And what can you say about how you've experienced yourself in that light? Like, have you always felt worthy of that attention?
Right. Well, I feel like in general, when you're in the spotlight, you have to like there's a lot of pressure to be a good example and like know everything kind of thing, and it's like you can't mess up, and like if you do
Mm-hmm.
mess up, people are always like, this person did that and that person did that. But
Yeah.
and I think that me personally, I've had a lot of ups and downs, like kind of just kind of reinventing myself. I started off um, like my career. Before I started my career, I was like going to school and I was gonna, take the university path and I was gonna do that. And
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to reinvent myself and my career, and I started dancing at a really late age. And whenever I started dancing, I was like kind of always in rooms full of people that were, had been dancing their whole lives. So I definitely felt like I had like my worthiness, my confidence, my insecurities would always come out, and
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like I was kind of imposter syndrome, that whole like idea of like I'm not good enough, and I'm constantly comparing myself, and I think comparing
Mm-hmm.
ourselves is such a big thing that happens in our industry because you're constantly seeing things, you're seeing numbers of people's followers, you're seeing actual like people, like you're seeing people's work, and you're seeing like there's so many things that you can compare nowadays, and I think it's kind of hard psychologically for a lot of people. But I think that it's actually a recent thing that I heard a TED talk or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it talked about how like um, it kind of coined this new phrase of like interiority. You know how there's like inferiority where you there's like superiority where you think you're like better than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
This person, I forgot the person's name, something McHugh. I'm not giving credit. Maybe I could send it to you later. But it was like this TED talk that talked about like how there's this thing called interiority, and the idea that like we all have our own like fingerprint, and we all have our own uniqueness about ourselves, and we are enough. And oh my God, there's like this huge spider here. Ah,
No!
oh shoot! I don't know what to do. All right, I'll just leave it.
Are
I'll
you
just leave it.
sure? You can get it.
I
I
just I tripped out. It's like so big. Oh my God.
you can
Anyways,
take a pause if you need to. I don't like to.
it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
I'll let it do its thing. I just hope
I'll
it doesn't
check in
jump
on you
on.
later. I don't know.
Uh,
Anyways.
so sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's this whole idea of this fingerprint, and it shouldn't be about comparing yourself to someone else, but it should be about like embracing your uniqueness and your fingerprint, because everyone is so different. We've all lived completely different lives. We've all had different journeys and different things um like for example, like I said, I reinvented myself as a dancer, and then now I'm reinventing myself and kind of transitioning into acting as well. And like I've had a different life than so many people, and I've had my own ups and downs, and my own things that I've learned about myself, and things that I still have to learn. And so I
Yeah,
think even in our industry, we see that each actor has their own fingerprint. Each person can get a set of lines
definitely.
and do their own, they take their own take on it. And I think people
Hmm.
should approach that into life. There's no right or wrong whenever you're just being yourself. But that, I think that also that brings that's an easy way to bring your worthiness into your like psyche. And I think that's helped
Hmm.
me trying not to compare others, and just being like, this is just who I am, and this is my journey. Maybe I'm not good enough yet, or maybe I am uh, good enough for this thing, but it's like it's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. So
Yeah, absolutely. And like I like what you said, which is I really liked how you compared how actors can bring a completely different take to every role, to every scene, and it's never right or wrong. Like you and I can both look at a scene and we can do it one way, and then another pair of actors can do it a different way, and it's
exactly,
the same scene, and it's both ways can be good, and it's just different. And
yeah,
it's
and
the same thing with people. It's like I can be one way, and then another actress can be another way, but it doesn't mean that one is better. It's just
exactly,
different, and it's
exactly.
it's really cool to think. It's kind of liberating
Yeah,
um,
and
to
and
know
it's
that.
it's actually consistent within all art forms. I feel like as a dancer as well, I've learned that um, like if I get a set of choreography, I'm gonna do it different than this person's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like the next dancer. It's all, I think, in all arts. I think it's a great example to look at any craft or any art that each person has their own unique fingerprint, and that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for you to be like someone else. They're actually looking for you, in your work. So, but I also think, and I realized, and I was like, okay, so if I'm gonna be myself, then I could do whatever I want. And I'm like, but I also think there's another idea of not remaining stagnant. I don't think that should let anyone be like, oh, I'm good enough as I am. You are good enough as you are, but I also think you should continue to grow, and I think you should continue to, be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
I had heard this thing about how this journalist. It was about Gandhi. It was this journalist who asked Gandhi, he's like, "Hey, what's your message? To the world or whatever." And then he said, "My life is my message." And I thought that was so beautiful because it's what you make your life, So you can't stay stagnant. You need to constantly grow, and every step that you take is kind of like your story, your imprint, your fingerprint footprint in the world. So I think it's important to constantly grow and learn, and like I'm constantly putting myself in situations where I'm learning something, and it is kind of humbling because you're always like humbling yourself to be like, I don't know everything, and it's funny because the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and it's almost like ignorance is bliss. I'd rather just know nothing and just be happy, but I think it's important to constantly be learning something and putting yourself in situations that humble you, and just expanding your knowledge and your craft or whatever it is. Like I don't. I like there's literally 50 things at a time that I'm just trying to do that I'm not comfortable doing. It's putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and I think that's so important for people to take into account, of just pick something up, a hobby, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be serious. Just like do it, like learn it,
Yeah.
and learn about yourself, and
No,
it's important.
completely. Well, also like I remember you telling me like when we first met, like I remember you telling me you were on set and you had said that you were a dancer, and I was like, oh yeah, like I dance too. I'm not like a dancer, but I dance. And you were like, well, why, like why can't you be like why can't you be like a dancer? And I was like, I don't know, I guess. And you were like, I started like super late. And I remember that kind of shifted like I was like, so I am a dancer. Like
Exactly.
and hearing that you had started so much later than a lot of other people do was very much like an encouraging thing for me. But being that like it's something that is one of your main passions now, probably like years later, I'm just curious, like how did you experience yourself at a young age, but also like considered kind of old for like dancing? Like when you're in
Yeah,
the arts world, if you're starting later than like the age of 5, everybody considers you old,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
untrue. But like how was that for you
I think
starting?
I got lucky because I approached it in such a fearless way, in terms of
Mm,
like I remember just taking classes, and everyone around me is like this professional dancer. They moved to LA at 18 years old. They've been dancing their whole lives, and I'm like, I'm just starting, And it was
right.
kind of like I kind of made myself a fool, and I was like, I don't care. I wanted to do it, and I was like, you know what? Like this is something I want. And it's crazy because it was, at first it wasn't something that I was like bent on, I'm gonna do it. It was more like, let's try it out, like I
Yeah,
want to give it a try, but if I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna do it. So I was
sure.
like putting so much time into it, and then it kind of started to, my work started to get better, and I started to like do competitions and then place well, and
Hmm.
um it just kind of like was like it called me in, kind of thing. And I ended up like doing dance shows, and then like I did dance, so you think you dance in Armenia, and I was like the first, or whatever, the favorite dancer there. And
Hmm.
so it, like that kind of just brought my, like, it was such a confidence builder of like, oh, you can do something like this. um and so I think that first of all, let me just say that you are such a big example of this. Like, I remember whenever I said that, you're like, all right, let's do it. Let's take a class with me. And you took a class with me, and you like you killed it. No, like, and you still like you still were taking classes and you were doing your thing. And I think that's so important to just be fearless about it and just be like, I like doing this. Like, why let my insecurities or a fear or something get in the way? It's like like the whole my life is my message thing. It's like, what kind of story are you going to tell? Are you going to tell the story of like, yeah, I love to dance, but I was scared to do it, so I never did it? Or are you going to tell the
Right.
story of like, I love to dance. I might not be the best dancer in the world, but I did it because I loved it, and I did it because I knew I could get better at it, you know?
No,
So
of
I think
course.
I think that that's kind of how I approached it, of like this mindset, this like goal oriented mindset of anything is possible, and I kind of didn't put limits on myself, and whenever I didn't, and I didn't let fear come in the way, it kind of
Hmm.
just showed me an example of what life could be without putting fear on yourself or putting any limits. And you know, I've gotten it changed my whole life. Just that
Hmm.
mindset changed my whole life. So I always preach that mindset to people, because I'm like, why not do something that you love to do? Why not put
Hmm.
yourself in an uncomfortable situation and just like, you know, just give it a try. You never know what you're going to learn about yourself. You never know what you're going to, where your life is going to lead you. I mean, I worked with amazing people. I got to travel the world. I got to be on amazing shows. You know, I got to have so many cool experiences and meet so many cool people. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of that, just one
Not
idea.
being
So
afraid.
not
Yeah.
being afraid,
No,
and I
completely. I
think
mean, that's
yeah,
kind of the through line, I feel like, of everything, whether you're a performer or you're not. It just is kind of the through line of everything in life. It's if you're afraid, you're holding yourself
yeah,
back.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
I mean, easier said than done, but you know.
it is. It is. I think that's the thing. It is easier said than done. A lot of
Hmm.
people um, like say they're I'm not going to be fearless, but when it comes to it, it's like they create excuses or something like that. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I do it too. It's not like
No,
like
it's
it's a normal thing. It just I think that if the faster you could get over that, the
hmm
faster and more easily your life could change for the way that you want it to, I think.
agree completely. So it's kind of like what you said. It's what kind of a life, like what kind of a life story do you want to be able to tell
Exactly. Yeah.
at the end of the day? Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's such a good conversation.
Yeah.
Every time I do one of these, I always find like a little nugget from the conversation where I'm like, oh, that was the main point. And
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of the main point, which is be fearless.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams,
100%.
everybody.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
But it's funny because a lot of people tell me it's like, I wish I could dance, and I'm like, why don't you just do it? Like, just
Just
step into it. Like, it's not about being not having that profession, maybe if you don't want to do that, but like, why don't you just step into a class? Like, nothing's gonna happen. You're just gonna have a good time. Like,
yeah.
literally, that's the worst that can happen. You'll have a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, literally. And the worst that can happen is that you just won't know how to do the dance at the end of the class.
Yeah, but
And
you'll also learn something about yourself. It's not like you won't, you know?
totally, totally. Paul, thank you so much for like hopping on here and
Yeah,
being
of
on this
course.
live. Like this has been really awesome. It's been really great getting to talk and catch up and like have
Yeah,
these great conversations.
always,
And
always.
yeah, absolutely. And thank you for everybody who's joined and been here. And if anybody has any questions about like Paul and about, just about being fearless and whether it's dance or performing or anything outside of that, feel free to hop on. I don't know if you saw any questions pop in that you found like interesting. Sometimes it's hard when you're talking and then like,
I was like,
I know things
whenever I
pop
talk,
in.
I'm showing my, yeah.
No, it's
Um,
okay. But I think that you covered a lot as far as like career versus self-worth versus you know footprint that you leave on the world. It's I feel like these are all things that people know but you don't always talk about, and it's nice
right,
to have that serve as like a reminder for others.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
so thank you for all your
Yeah,
wisdom.
of course.
Yes, and thank you again everybody for joining the live today. This is Almost Normal Productions, so we do this weekly. We have a film coming out November 12th, so excited for that, for spooky
Make sure you
season.
follow them.
Oh, you're awesome. Yeah, follow Paul
Yeah,
too. because, you know, obviously, look at this. So thank you, everybody, and I'm sending you love, Paul. Mwah.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.